Shout-outs to the multi-billionaires and your bunkers that you spent millions of dollars building. They won't save you. In the past, the ultra-wealthy have always found a way to skirt around the edges of disaster, their wealth acting as a protective barrier against the world's harsh realities. But when it comes to a nuclear apocalypse, the game changes. The long-held belief of billionaires, that money can buy safety, is put to the ultimate test. Imagine, if you will, a world on the brink of annihilation, a world where the only escape seems to be burrowing into the earth, constructing elaborate subterranean fortresses designed to withstand the end of the world. These aren't just any bunkers, but vanity projects of billionaires equipped with all the luxuries one could dream of, from state-of-the-art rec rooms to fully stocked wine cellars. But let's get real, shall we? Even the most luxurious bunker is, at the end of the day, still just a bunker. A sealed, underground tomb, where the air is stale and the only view is of cold, unyielding concrete. And that's before we even get to the practicalities. How long can one survive in such a bunker, cut off from the world, relying on canned goods, recycled water and artificial lighting? A month, a year, a decade. Human beings are social creatures, not mole rats. The psychological strain of such isolation could be just as deadly as any nuclear fallout. And then there's the question of what happens when you run out of supplies. Can you really trust that your bunker's systems will function perfectly indefinitely, without the need for maintenance or repairs? What happens when something breaks down and there's no one left to fix it? In the face of a nuclear apocalypse, the idea of surviving in a bunker is a comforting illusion. It's a story the ultra-rich tell themselves to sleep at night, but reality isn't so kind. When the surface of the Earth becomes a radioactive wasteland, those million-dollar bunkers won't be sanctuaries. In the end, those bunkers turned out to be nothing more than expensive tombs. The drums of war echoed across the world, and then, the sky was set ablaze. In the not-so-distant future, tensions among the world's superpowers reached a fever pitch. A simple spark ignited the powder keg of international relations. That spark, an attempted power grab, a territorial dispute or a resource conflict, it's lost to the annals of history. But what matters is the devastating aftermath. The global powers, once diplomatic titans now armed gladiators, stood on the precipice of mutual destruction. The world watched in horror as the stage for the Third World War was set. The major players, their names etched in the annals of infamy, launched their deadly arsenals. The world was held hostage by the whims of the few, and the fate of the many hung in the balance. The first nuclear warhead was launched, cutting through the sky like a deadly star. It was a sight both terrifying and beautiful, a grim paradox that encapsulated the human condition. The world held its breath as the countdown to annihilation began. In response, the other nations, driven by fear and retaliation, unleashed their own nuclear payloads. The sky was set ablaze with the fires of war, a gruesome spectacle of humanity's capability for destruction. One by one, cities were reduced to ashes and nations fell into ruin. The world watched in helpless despair as civilization crumbled under the weight of its own hubris. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. 2/3 of the world's population was wiped out in the blink of an eye. The survivors were left to navigate a world cloaked in nuclear winter, a desolate wasteland devoid of life and hope. The aftermath was a sobering reminder of the power humans wield and the fragility of life. The world as we once knew it, brimming with life and possibility, was no more. In its place stood a desolate wasteland, a haunting testament to the folly of man. The world as we knew it ceased to exist. From the ashes of the old world, the survivors rose. With the Third World War leaving a vast majority of the Earth's population in ruin, the remaining 1/3 emerged from the wreckage, their lives irrevocably changed. The survivors, a motley crew of individuals from every walk of life, found themselves thrust into an existence they could have never prepared for. The harsh conditions they faced were beyond comprehension. Imagine a world where the air you breathe is laced with nuclear waste, where every sip of water could be your last, and where finding food is a daily struggle. In this post-apocalyptic world, resources were scarce and every day became a battle for survival. The fight for resources was brutal. People who were once neighbors turned against each other in desperation. Food, water, shelter. These basic necessities became the currency of the new world. Every scrap of food, every drop of water was a lifeline. In a world where survival was the only goal, humanity was often the first casualty. The breakdown of law and order was inevitable. With governments obliterated and the world plunged into chaos, the concept of law became a distant memory. The survivors had to fend for themselves, their survival instincts kicking in, often leading to violent confrontations. Life was a constant struggle. The survivors had to adapt, to learn new skills, to become warriors in their own right. They had to navigate through the harsh realities of a world that had turned against them. And yet, in the face of such adversity, they persevered. In the midst of all the chaos and struggle, a new form of society began to take shape. A society where strength and resilience were valued above all else, where survival was the only law. It was a grim reality, but it was their reality. And they clung to it with a determination that was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. In this new world, it's survival of the fittest. The old world was gone, and in its place rose a world that was harsh, brutal, and unforgiving, but it was their world, and they would fight to the death to survive in it. In the ruins of civilization, a new order emerges. Amidst the desolation and the echoes of past chaos, humanity, like a phoenix, rises from its ashes. The survivors, indomitable in spirit, begin to form new societal structures. In this brave new world, the currency is not gold or paper, but trust and cooperation. Hardship has a way of stripping away the veneer of civilization, revealing the true essence of humanity. It is in these moments that we see the potential for a new beginning, a chance to start afresh, to learn from our past mistakes and build a world unmarred by the scars of war. In this post-apocalyptic world, human resilience shines the brightest, painting a glimmer of hope on the bleak canvas of survival. This is the New World Order, a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. From the ashes we rise, to the stars we soar.